Hey, Mark,
What's up, Jake?
you are in a different location. I think you might be in a
I'm,
hotel room.
I'm in Los Angeles,
What?
biggest place in the universe. I've done 4 shows in 3 nights.
Yeah.
Every show I've driven at least 90 minutes
Wow.
from LA to LA.
Of
I don't
course.
understand what
Yep.
how big is LA? I don't
Yeah.
get it. I'm
Yeah.
turning into a flat earther over here. I think
Mm,
LA is just like one you just keep going around. I don't
yeah.
understand. I don't know.
Yeah.
Every highway has like 15 lanes. It's
Yeah.
nuts. It's a crazy it's a crazy
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. That sounds awful. Sounds terrible.
Well, we'll get into it later. Why don't you do some things? But yes,
Okay. I'll tell you
just
about
as a
it. So,
little preview, a little sneak peek for folks.
sneaking and peek.
Comedy in LA is BAD. It's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. You know it's not BAD? Baked potatoes. Have you heard about these things?
I have heard of it.
Unbelievable.
Have you heard about? Wait till you hear about this. This is going to blow your mind. Twice baked potatoes.
I can't. I don't even understand that. That doesn't make sense to me. But I've gotten onto the baked potato train,
Okay.
and
You would have loved Wendy's in the 80s.
dude, toot.
They
Let's
don't do
do
that
it.
anymore, do they?
I don't know if they do, but baked potatoes are so good. I had one
Okay.
for the 4th of July. That was weeks ago. But I did something special, and I made my
Seems
own
like a
baked.
weird time of year to have a baked potato. Baked
Yeah,
potato
but
is
I
more
felt
like
like I was
fall,
celebrating.
winter,
You're celebrating America. What's more American than a baked potato? I
apple
did,
pie.
well, I did a baked potato and I did corn on the cob
A bag of
because
Doritos, honestly.
bag of
Some
Doritos
taco bag
nowadays.
with
But
diarrhea in it.
the Colombian Exchange, I know you're a learned man. You know what the Colombian Exchange is. I don't need to explain it to you, but for our listeners, I'll explain it. There are certain things that were exchanged when Europeans reached the New World, things that came from the New World back to Europe, things that came from Europe to the New World. Some of those really big ones were things like potatoes, only existed in the New World, like corn, only existed in the New World.
Wait a
And
second. Hold the phone, Jake.
yeah,
Have you heard of the potato famine? When was that?
it was after Columbus. Yes.
Really?
Another one that will
They
blow
didn't
your
have you're
mind.
telling me Ireland didn't have potatoes.
They didn't have
Did they
potatoes.
have what do they make with the potatoes? Whiskey or something like that? They didn't have whiskey?
Whiskey is made with like barley and wheat and
Okay, they're not using
rye.
their potatoes for
It's
their
made with
alcohol.
grain.
Okay.
Potatoes are used to make vodka, right? So that's, I mean, you
Right,
think about
I
that,
guess
that's
you're right.
that's
That's more
Russia,
like Sweden.
but Russia
So
didn't
you're
have.
telling me Absolute is made which is from Sweden, is
Yeah.
made with potatoes that are 1500 or later.
Yes, exactly.
These are
Right. Isn't that
relatively
nutty
new,
to think
kinda
about?
young potatoes. Is that why
The
it's
the
so good?
Yes, the amount of things that transferred during the Colombian Exchange is mind-boggling because
They call it
things.
the shouldn't it be the Columbusian Exchange?
Well, Colombian Exchange is how it's
It
said.
has
So
nothing to do with the country Columbia or the garment company?
no, has to do with there's a man, Christopher Columbus,
I've heard of
named
him.
yeah, named after him. He didn't. There's a different Chris Columbus who actually directed Home Alone, but
Yes,
we're talking about a
yes.
different guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Different guy. But yeah, the Colombian Exchange.
There's
Tomatoes.
no way it's really I'm fact check. Keep talking. I'm gonna Google this.
Tomatoes, also part of the Colombian Exchange. And which you think about Italy, you
Okay,
think
look
about.
at you
Yeah, I
teaching
know.
me something.
I know. You think about Italy, you think about tomatoes, you think about tomato sauce, you think about that's them. Tomatoes part of the Colombian Exchange. Right?
It's a Mario. You're telling me
Exactly.
Mario had no tomatoes
No,
pre
not in pre 1500 ish. No, didn't have any tomatoes. And I think that's
what a time to be alive.
what a time to be alive. Here it is,
What did they eat?
olive
By the
oil
way,
and
can we
hummus.
pause? Do you hear like a weird echo? Do I sound funny?
You do not sound funny.
Okay, there is a crazy echo in this room. I need like pillows or
Yeah,
something.
I hear
It's
no
driving me
echo.
crazy. But
I hear no echo. All
okay,
right.
good. Good.
But yeah, so the Colombian Exchange, I think, is a fascinating thing. One other thing I'll point out super quick that part of the Colombian Exchange, things that you would already know about gunpowder,
No, like Britney
metallurgy,
Spears. Did
steel.
Europe have Britney Spears?
They did not, and steel, and so things like that.
They have
So when
elevators?
when the conquistadors come to place like the
This is incredible. All
Aztec
we hear about
Empire.
are the blankets. Why are we
Yeah,
such Debbie Downers? This is all positives.
yeah, yeah. We took a lot of things from the New World in a very cool way. Tobacco is another one that was only in the New World. But there are things that were only in Europe, or at least the New World hadn't discovered yet. Metallurgy and stuff like that, gunpowder, whatever. Another one of the ones that blows my mind is horses. Horses are not native to North South America, the Americas, the New World, right? So you think about Native Americans back in the day riding the horses.
Oh, wait, which direction? I'm sorry. So the horses went Europe to America.
Europe to America. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that kind of makes sense, because I think I've seen like the paintings in the Metropolitan with the
it makes sense, but it's also one of those things that really you're like, oh, you think about Native Americans and cowboys and Indians, whatever it is, and everybody's riding horses, and they didn't have horses for many years. I mean, basically their entire existence.
What about juggling? Which direction did juggle? How about puppets? Which direction did puppets go?
Ooh, I don't know about puppetry. The Incas famously did not have a written language. Incas of Peru. Yeah.
Now, how about, I'm pretty sure chocolate went Americas to Europe, right?
Chocolate went the other direction. Yeah. Pretty fun.
Willy Wonka is originally set in England, right?
It feels very European. The
Roald Dahl, he's from Britain, right?
I don't know, but the setting feels Europe. I'm
pretty sure he's European. Yeah. So Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory would not have happened without this Colombian Exchange.
This Colombian Exchange, yeah. Fascinating part of human history.
That is pretty interesting. Now, how did this come to your attention recently?
I got into potatoes.
Oh, and you wanted to study the origin?
No, I knew about the Colombian Exchange. That's just one of those fascinating parts of world history. That
I guess you're a history teacher or geography teacher.
Yeah, I did history. I did some world history, some U.S. history, some geography, all of those sorts of things. So I was celebrating 4th of July with a potato and with corn, because those are New World items, right? So I went out of my way to get
nerd alert
New World items. I'm not going to celebrate with olive oil.
I'm not going to have Chinese fireworks at my American celebration.
But these baked potatoes, man, so good.
So what are you loading them up with? What's so impressive about them?
Just butter. I'm baking these potatoes, putting butter on it. That's it. And they are blowing my mind.
What? How long? All right. How long do you have to bake a baked potato for a long time? I think I've maybe never made a baked potato. I made sweet potatoes.
It will change your life.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, I've eaten them a lot, but it just takes too long. I think I looked into it once and I was like, no way, I'm not doing this.
It takes an hour.
Do you wrap them in the foil first?
Nope. No foil.
Okay. Are you using your full big oven, or do you have like a big countertop?
Yeah, I do the big oven.
And you're just making one.
I make several at a time. Okay. Most of the time I make 3, 2 for my wife, or 2 for me, 1 for my wife. That's how it usually goes. Most recently I made 5. I made 5 baked potatoes, because I'm like, I am into this. And you go to this grocery store, you pick out your baked potatoes, $2 for your baked potatoes.
They're cheap. They come out of the ground for free.
Oh my goodness!
You should plant potatoes.
I should plant potatoes.
I
would not be anywhere near into gardening, like for like flowers or anything. Who cares? Yeah. But if I could eat those potatoes, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: have you ever gotten into a situation where you got like 4 normal potatoes and a runt potato, and you got to pull out the runt early?
No, well, I get to pick out my own potatoes, but I did get, most recently I went to the grocery store, and this is some hot pod talk right here, because I went and there was like some potatoes that were not as pretty as the other. Some of them were really lumpy. I had basically only lumpy potatoes to choose from, and I'm like, I've already decided I'm getting 5, so like I had to choose the lumpy potatoes.
Unbelievable.
Still fantastic.
Have you had to carve out some eyes or spuds or whatever they call them?
I don't know what that is, so I will say no.
Okay. All right. Are you eating the skin?
Oh yeah, I eat the skin. I'm all about the skin.
Jeez Louise. Is there nothing left after 2 potatoes? It's just completely gone.
Completely gone.
Like a magic trick. Unbelievable.
Yep. I have some magic.
That's pretty amazing. Wait till you hear about potato toppings. You get bacon on there. You get cheese.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I can handle the toppings, but man, they are. I mean, it's just crazy to think that a 50-cent, 75-cent item can be so good.
Well, have you tried watermelon?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the summer watermelon for old Mark. Yeah. I chopped up one today. I feel like Paul Bunyan in there. I'm getting these big watermelons. There's some tricks to our listeners. You should go treat yourself to a watermelon. I'm gonna tell you, 48 hours from now, you're gonna be happy as a clam. Because clams, mollusks, they love watermelon. What you do is you go to the grocery store, find the darkest watermelon you can.
Okay.
Darkest. Look for one spot. It should have a spot. It's gonna be like a white patch, kind of a lighter spot. It should be pretty high contrast in that spot. And you want heavy. So it's supposed to be dense. Like pick up like 3 that are the same size. Take the heaviest one. Now, this is the most important part. Bring it home and leave it on the counter for 2 days. And then chop off one end, like from 99% to 1%, so that it's got a flat bottom, and then pop it up like a Fabergé egg, and then start peeling off the sides. And then you got this hunk of pure watermelon, and then you slice it up into cubes, and it's unbelievable. Watermelon is this is really the first year I've gotten into watermelon, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's fun. I'll tell you this for our listeners: get any potato and bake it, and you're going to have the best meal of your life.
We're still on potatoes.
So I tell you this. So I worked at a really fancy school in the Denver area, south of Denver. Tuition when I started, I think it was like $13,000 a year. When by the time I left, it was like $18,000 a year. Ridiculously expensive school.
Okay.
And so we would have like teacher appreciation days, and they would give us meals pretty often. And they had basically a restaurant to feed all the kids.
Sure.
And they would feed us.
So it wasn't the Sun Devils, was it?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Very good though. Very good.
Okay.
Totally for it. The food was fantastic. And then I worked at a really rinky-dink school here in Louisville. And for teacher appreciation, they gave us 1 potato each, 1 baked potato. And I was like, are you kidding me with this?
But now that's even better.
Yeah. I'm used to these big spreads with like salmon and hummus and greens and quinoa and whatever. And now it's just like, here's 1 potato. And I was like, this is awesome. I didn't know what I was missing.
Wild. All right. Well, I'm in Los Angeles, Jake. And so I'm going to run you through. I did 4 shows, 3 nights, and went by the Comedy Store. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let me set it up. So I fly into Orange County, John Wayne International Airport, take a photo with the biggest John Wayne statue you've ever seen, and get my rental car. I'm really into cheap rental cars recently. Like you got to find the non-hertz size, not anything you've ever airport. This one is called Stop and Go. And it's been terrific, and it was like half the price of the other rental car companies. Yep. And I ended up getting a 2026 Toyota Corolla with 25 miles on it. I'm the first driver ever.
Wow. Yeah.
On this thing. I got pretty lucky. You don't always get that nice a car, but I'm paying like next to nothing. It's incredible. And so I go to my first show. It is 1 mile from the airport. It's the best, like really nice commute. That first show. It's at a place called Dirty Nelly's, DURTY, Fair Trade Comedy. And I'm a little disappointed because there are 14 people in the audience. Yeah. Little did I know this was going to be the biggest audience I was going to see in just about 4 shows. So I'm at this show. Papp Johnson is headlining. He was just on Netflix's Funny as AF. There's a comic who was on Last Comic Standing. There's another comic who's, tours the country. This is like a legit, I forgot how good the lineups are in LA and honestly how bad the shows are. And this is going to drive you crazy. It's not just the audience that is bad. The comics don't care. I don't know what's going on. One of the comics got up there and was just like, basically expressed that this wasn't worth their time. and said they were pretty tired and just mailed it in. Like didn't give the audience anything. And I know that drives you crazy.
Yes.
Because you know, I was there making I didn't even think I was getting paid, but I did get paid $11. So you better believe I earned that $11
double
later.
digits. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm going to pause you for 1 second because I want to give you, I think it's a compliment. You can see if you like it as a compliment or not.
Sure.
But we did a show in Kentucky recently.
Yes.
And the next 3-4 days later, I ran into a lady who was at that show. I didn't really recognize her. Turns out she was that one kid's mom that you were picking on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looked up a picture of Grimace on her phone. She couldn't remember what Grimace looked like.
And so, she stopped me, and I was just walking by. Didn't notice her. She said, "Oh my goodness, I saw you at the show on Sunday, and it was really good. Thank you for doing some newer stuff." I was doing some stuff that I knew she'd probably seen some of the other stuff. And then she said, "What do you think about Mark?" "Oh, it's so great. He's getting a tour of the country." And I was like, I think that's a compliment. I think that is. But
she said, "So great that he gets to tour the country."
So great that he gets to tour the country.
That does sound like a not a great compliment.
Well, I said thank you. I said he'll be happy to hear that.
Yeah. Did she offer to make a donation to this special?
No.
To this special case.
No.
They were great. I know the kid had a really good time. I think I maybe gave the kid something, or he bought a sticker. I can't remember. Bought something. He definitely said hi at the merch table. So I do this show, 14 people, Irish bar. Jake, there couldn't have been more windows. Like we did that show in Kentucky. So many windows. I'm cursed with windows recently. And it's a 6:30 p.m. show. So it's basically daylight. And then I just did 5 nights of hours in a row. And I get an 8-minute spot. I also forgot that about Los Angeles comedy. Nobody gets a big spot. You get a 5. You're lucky to get. If you get 10 minutes, you're like, you might as well be Sebastian Maniscalco, because there's so many comics. And it was really. I didn't realize that at the time what a great show it was, but in the moment, I was pretty disappointed.
What day of the week was this one?
This was a Saturday night.
Okay.
Am I right about that? Yeah, because I did Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah. Saturday, I should really call it evening, Jake. It's like baked potato time, 6:30 p.m. They had to finish up quick to get to karaoke. Oh, there's the other thing. The acoustics were so. The bar was so loud in the back of the showroom that it was louder than the PA. Like when I was watching the comics, I had a hard time hearing the comedy on stage. It was just, there was so much wrong with it, but I didn't realize it was going to be probably the best show I did. Yeah. So I do that show. The showrunner couldn't have been better. He wasn't there, but he communicated well. He paid me $11, which is more than probably I should have gotten with that many comics on the show and, 12 to 14 people in the audience. Yeah. And I did get 3 people subscribed to my YouTube, nice. Which was pretty good. And they were all psyched. They thought I was hilarious. And I was like, well, in my head, I'm like, man, I wish you would have laughed more. I was having I don't know, man. It was hard, but I brought it. I was like, this is my one time here and this is the fun thing about traveling is, you get to bring your A material and nobody knows that you've been pounding it into the dirt, doing it over and over and over again. Yeah. So I did that. And then Sunday I had 2 shows lined up. I had a small theater show, and then I was doing a club in San Diego. And this is a continuation of comedy in LA is tough. San Diego show a couple days in advance cancels due to low ticket sales at a comedy club, mind you. I mean, better that they cancel than I have to drive like 2.5 hours down there and 2 hours back. So I do the small theater show. The small theater show is brutal, man. Yeah. It is a black box, 20-seater, so very small, good lighting, good, okay sound. 0 tickets sold, but 10 people committed. Okay. The showrunner rented the space, paid for the space, put tickets online for sale,
Yeah.
and then gave away 10 tickets to some seat filling service. This is a big thing in LA, I guess. So 10 kind of homeless people wander in. Like, who goes to a 90-minute event for free to like they didn't really seem to care if they were there or not. I don't know what it's I don't know what it is, like some kind of pyramid scheme. Like maybe eventually if they go to enough of these events, they'll get Dodgers tickets or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what's really going on, or if they're, wannabe actors. I'm kind of confused. I don't know what they're thinking. And so there are 10 seat fillers and like 5 comics. So there's 15 people in this room, and it's so weird. It's like a papered room. Remember that story when I was in Arizona and the biggest audience we had was the worst audience we had? Yeah. It felt kind of like that. It was like people were laughing, but it was like kind of at random. It was just like they were laughing just to.
Yeah. Your contract, you have to be in this room for 90 minutes. You have to laugh 13 times.
Yeah, exactly. It was very weird. And I, at that point, kind of felt like mailing it in a little bit, but and there was one really good comedian on it. Some guy named Rishi something, Rishi, who's super funny. If anybody knows who he is from the LA area. And then the showrunner guy did half an hour at the end, and I had to bolt right after that. And so that was again another example of comedy being kind of rough. Now, this is the real silver lining. Here comes the fun part, Jake. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell if you're like playing chess or what you're doing over there. But...
I'm listening.
Okay. I don't think you know where your camera is. Is the issue?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm looking at me, and I'm looking at you on the camera. But
got it.
Spot.
Yeah. That makes sense. So when the San Diego thing canceled, randomly, some headliner in LA emailed me and said, "Hey, I got this buddy. He's getting kicked out of the country. He's driving up to Canada. He's going through Denver. Can you get him any stage time?" Was basically the gist of the email. And I responded very nicely. I was like, well, they sent me the dates. I said, here's a good show you could hop on, possibly. I'm hosting at a comedy club that weekend. If you come through, I'll introduce you to the booker. Maybe you'll get a guest spot. And if you want to get coffee or something like that, I was very nice. You don't, a little secret, because not a ton of people listen to this. This will be funny, by the way. If we ever like blow up, it'll be hilarious for people to listen to this. This is how I first booked Adam Caton Holland. Adam Caton Holland, when he wasn't famous, recorded a podcast and just said his Gmail address on the podcast and was like, please contact me. And so I listened to that old podcast episode and I just emailed him. and I don't think he accepted the first time, but I eventually got him. And so anyways, the secret is, if you email me, I'm pretty nice and helpful, which I think a lot of people aren't. I imagine you would be, and people that I like in comedy are pretty nice, but maybe you wouldn't because you get bombarded.
I'm nice-ish. It depends. I mean, they really, here's probably part of the issue is I'll get some emails, or mostly it's direct messages on Instagram or whatever, from people that you're not a comedian. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But you're pretending to be one, or whatever. It's like hey, I've only done 4 shows in my life, but I want a headline in Louisville. So how do I get that going?
Yes, I don't get a lot of that spam. Yeah, I get pretty good content, and this came from a quality source, and it was the headliner writing the email on behalf of the person. So I was super helpful.
Yeah.
And then once the San Diego thing got canceled, like the day before, I emailed this headline. When this exchange happened, I emailed the headliner and just said, hey, if you're doing a show Sunday night, I will come watch and support you. Yeah. Just let me know where it is in the LA area. I had nothing going on. I was willing to drive. I had moved that theater show. You never asked what time it was.
Yeah, what time?
4 p.m., buddy.
Ooh. Seat
I moved
filler
it earlier.
time.
It was supposed to be 6:30, but I moved to the 4:00. They ended up canceling the 6 because they had 0 tickets and 0 seat fillers.
Golly, man, what is
Because
going on?
I had to drive so far to San Diego.
Yeah.
But now my evening's free. So I messaged this guy and he goes, well, I'm actually doing a private with, and I'll say this on the Patreon. Let me start a little list. Booker for private in LA. I'll mention who it is on the Patreon. And he was basically like, if you want to come through, I'll find out if I can get you a guest spot, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this sounds great. You know, I'm in LA. I'm trying to do comedy. It's north of LA at a country club. It's a birthday party. You know, it's not going to be great, right? This is going to be, it's basically like one of the gigs we do for money, but I'm just going to go up there and do, you know, he said, eventually we got to 5 to 7 minutes. You can do 5 to 7 minutes. And I was like, do I have to cold open? He's like, yeah, you have to cold open 5 to 7 minutes. If you want it, come through. If not, no big deal. So I drive up to this country club. There's like 65 people.
Hey.
Yeah. At banquet rounds in kind of a weird structure. And it's a 75th birthday party. There's a good range of young people, old people. And I get to hang out with the headliner in this like kind of green room area. And he gave me an introduction to a new national booker who isn't the one who booked this one. And as I was walking up, he ended up paying me. And I'll say that. I'll put that country club show pay. I'm going to say this on the Patreon too. Everybody, patreon.com/Mark and Jake, MarkandJake. Anytime we get paid more than $11, we will reveal it. We will hold it for the Patreon. And so anyway, so he pays me before I even get up. There's 60 to 70 people there. Mm-hmm. You know, I set up my camera. He's got decent sound. It's like, and I'm like, well, this is going to be fine. You know, they're kind of spread out. It doesn't seem like it's going to be awesome. But Jake, I just did shows for 14 and 10 people. He's embarrassed to give me this spot. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is incredible. And we had a nice long conversation about how comedy in LA is so bad. Like you gotta go elsewhere. It really is. I hate to, that's what the whole point of this episode is. Comedy in LA is bad. But Jake, let me tell you, I shook this place. Nice. It was a country club. There was a huge quinceañera going on, super loud. Couldn't hear any of it. Like the walls were, I was murdering. After 2 shows with 14 people and 10 people, the worst shows you've ever seen. I brought my A game and it was really fun. It was really, really fun. And then he came out. I brought him onto stage and I kind of snuck out like 10 minutes later and I got paid. And so that was a pretty good show in LA.
Wait, hold on. You started talking to him about like, hey, you got a show on Sunday night. I'll come and watch and support.
Exactly.
And you didn't even watch and support?
Oh, that's a fair point. He did tell me you can leave whenever you want. Oh, okay. he let me know that. But what I meant was like at a comedy club, at a real, like a showcase, like a place with paid tickets. You know, I was gonna, just be another body because the shows are tough in LA, and I'm sure I would have seen other talent, etc. He told me I could leave anytime, so I watched for like 10 minutes and then snuck out a back door. And then I went to the Comedy Store. And this is incredible. Like I was firing on all cylinders with this little adventure for an hour to the Comedy Store. One, I got free parking on a secret street that that's where I'm always going to park for the Comedy Store. From that spot, you walk right by a taco place. I needed dinner. It's like a 4-block walk to the Comedy Store. I got a taco on the way. Incredible. Go to the Comedy Store. I don't know if people have been to the Comedy Store, but I go to the ticket window and I'm basically like, hey, I'm a comic. I just want to watch something. And the lady's like kind of confused, but then somebody else popped over and was like, I'm like, I got this hat on that says Vail Comedy. I got a zip up thing that says Vail Comedy Show. I'm wearing my show shoes. I'm obviously a comedian. And some guy swoops in and goes, yeah, he's fine. Just come with me. Just sit in the back here and keep your phone in your pocket. And I go, what's going on in that room? Because they have 3 different rooms at the Comedy Store. And I kind of wanted to like angle for a decent room. And he said, well, right now we're wrapping up Friends and Family, which Friends and Family basically means like employees of the Comedy Store kind of doing an open mic. It's like, have you heard of Potluck? Potluck is kind of like thick skin in that it's a bucket mic,
Oh,
but it's not necessarily dirty, and there's no co-host thing. It's just, and it's
yeah.
very difficult. It's kind of like Kill Tony. It's like but longer set. You get like 3 to 4 minutes or something like that. And the friends and family version, it's that, but it's just people who work at the Comedy Store pretty much, and their friends. So I go in, it's pretty terrible, Jake, pretty terrible. And they tell me it's friends and family right now. We're about to start the headliner show. So I'm like, okay, I'll go in there. And it's the original room. It's not the belly room or the big room. It's the original room, the OR. And I watched 4 white dudes bomb their ass off. I mean, the audience is exhausted, and I don't know if they have to do new material. There was like no obvious punchlines. I don't know what was happening. But then they switch over to this headliner show, and a very funny girl, I wish I could remember her name. She's Iranian, and she's from San Diego. So that narrows it down quite a bit. And a woman in comedy. She was very funny. She hosted. And then as she's getting off and bringing up the next comedian, some employee runs up and hands her a sticky note, a yellow sticky note. And she goes, oh, okay, your next comedian is Bill Burr.
Wow.
And Bill Burr comes up and does 15 minutes, Jake.
Nice.
Unbelievable. I'm on fire now. I got my taco. I got my free parking. I got Bill Burr for 15 minutes. And he started real slow, but man, within like 3 or 4 minutes, I mean, I was rolling. He was so funny. And the audience was still pretty tired, but man, is he a killer. He is really, really good. He had some great, I'll share some of the Bill Burr material on the Patreon. Stuff that he's working on. And you know what was kind of fun? I don't know if we talked about verbal typos before. Have I ever told you this idea?
No.
I do a lot of tape reviews and for people. And one of the common things I tell people is your tape had a verbal typo in it. It's when you say like, I went to the football game. You say something wrong, you correct yourself, and I call it a verbal typo. And basically, I tell everybody, if you're submitting to like a festival or a comedy club, get a tape without a verbal typo. Like tape some more. You know, it's hard when you're getting started, but get a perfect tape. Anyways, Bill Burr totally made a classic verbal typo, you know, like in the middle of a joke. And it was like kind of neat to see, okay, he's working stuff out. He hasn't said this on stage before. He made a mistake, and it wrecked the momentum of that joke. When he got to the punchline, it just didn't work. But it was good to see that, you know, even Bill Burr is human, and man, he's funny. He's really good. So that was Sunday. And then last night was Monday night. And what I thought was going to be the best show probably is at a brewery in El Segundo. Some comedian had told me that El Segundo is a really cool place. Apparently downtown El Segundo is very cool. This brewery is like across the tracks in some industrial part. And the lineup was sick. Like there were some comedians on there I'd never heard of. And after watching them, they were awesome. There was this one kid, Cooper Lyden. He's so funny. Lyden. He's really good. He said he was 27 on stage and has been doing comedy since he was 17.
Wow.
And he was very, very funny. In 4, by the way, 3 to 4 audience members.
Gee.
Pretty tough room. Everybody on the show like begged to go early. So I ended up featuring, I went like second to last, Andrew Orolfo, who is headlining, by the time this comes out, you guys, this won't make any sense, but it's currently late July, and this Thursday he's headlining the Improv in Denver. And then I guess since this is coming out so late, I assume he's secret, but he's headlining the Denver Comedy Underground the next night, Friday night. And I saw him at Red Clay 5-6 years ago, maybe 7. He's so funny. He's really Comedy Central. He's got all these great credits. And so he was great. But then when I finally got up, you know, there were kind of like 10 people there, because it was like, by that point, one of the audience members had left. So there were 3 audience members. There was like 2 or 3 employees, and there were still like 4 comics hanging around. And the acoustics were really good. And I said this to the audience in the middle of my set. I was just like, I understand there's only 3 people here, and it's a little embarrassing to bring my A game to this show in front of these other comedians. But for you 3 people, I'm so glad you are here. I am bringing it for you. You are getting my very best material. And it was more fun than it should have been.
Mm.
And it was nice to connect with Andrew again. I think we've emailed before. I'm definitely going to try and book him on some stuff. He was really funny, and I was kind of observing how clean he was. I mean, he wasn't like super clean. He definitely had like one joke that wasn't totally clean, but he wasn't like swearing and he wasn't vulgar.
Yeah.
And he's just really good, man. He's super funny. So that was, and no, I don't think, I'm sure he got paid. I'm hoping he got paid. None of the other comics got paid.
Yeah.
But one of the comics, in fact, had one of his funniest jokes was him trying to explain to his wife why he came to this show with 3 audience people to work on his latest dick joke.
Yeah.
Like why it's so important. He's like, honey, I get 20 minutes. So it's worth driving 2 hours. 20 minutes is worth a 4-hour round trip, you know? So it's crazy in LA, man. So that was it. That was the 4th show. I had fun at it, but man, it is a murder scene out here. It is absolutely brutal. So really enjoy whatever comedy scene you're in, everybody. Be grateful. There's more than 3 or 4 people. And oof, it is tough. I mean, who knew how good we had it at that Kentucky show?
Yeah, Kentucky show
in
was
broad daylight.
When are you going to move to LA?
Never. No, I might, you know, that's funny. I would, in a couple of years, I'd like to like kind of move around, like live in a place for like 3 months. And LA was definitely on my list, but now it seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Although I guess you could say the same about New York or really anywhere else. Like once you got to move someplace for a week, which is what I'm doing this week. And I even had this conversation with a comedian. He's like, it's nice that you're from out of town because people will be nice to you.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I spent a week in Austin, and you know, their comedy scene, not as bad as what you're describing. And so that's nice. Didn't get a ton of super fun stuff, but got some.
Okay.
And of course, there's the option. It felt like if we were there for another week, or if I had moved there, then you know things would have started rolling. I mean, people. A couple of weeks later, people asked me to be on their shows in Austin, and I was like, "Hey, I don't live here," but connected with enough people. And so but I don't know. Austin is not really my jam. So.
Yeah, it's not a. I mean, I will say this about LA: the quality of comedians was great, and I enjoyed watching the comedians, and I feel like I was inspired to write better jokes. Like I definitely saw how some of my jokes are maybe a little road hacky.
Now here's a question, and I think this is. I'm talking about my perspective for 1 week in January in Austin. The comedians were not great. The comedians were
I'm not surprised to hear that.
Significantly lower quality than Denver comedy. Probably closer to the level of Louisville.
Okay.
You know, but Denver comedian, you go to a regular open mic or a regular showcase or regular whatever in Denver, you'll see some really good comics. And you know,
you can definitely, just to be clear, like that theater show I did in LA, other than 2 comedians, pretty awful. So you can find bad comedy anywhere.
Yeah. But when I think about, you know, some of the good Denver comics or the staples of the scene, you know, I felt like I met some of the staples of the scene in Louisville or in Austin, and we did a Don't Tell in San Antonio, which almost everybody from on the show was from or lived in Austin, and they just drove over to San Antonio. And we did, you know, a couple other shows here and there, and you know, a lot of them were just a little bit below the Denver average.
Yeah.
Some of them were well below the Denver average, which would you expect?
Sure.
You know, I went to Thick Skin. When I was in Thick Skin, there was a couple of guys who I know from a long time ago, still doing comedy, still passing out zines and just bombing so hard. And there you go. But the question philosophically would be like, would you rather be in LA with a lot of good comedians and a lot of bad audiences, or in Austin with some decent audiences and a lot of bad comedians?
I think Austin.
Right?
I mean, I don't want to be in Austin. I don't like Texas. I don't like how hot it is. I don't want the mosquitoes.
Yep.
But in terms of, I want to get better at comedy.
Yep.
And I think you're better off in front of decent audiences getting better at comedy than you are in a place like LA, where you're going to be inspired by really good comedians, but the audiences are pretty rough. And sometimes the shows, like that very first show, if they had all been like that, the comedians really made it. This is a crazy story, Jake. Holy cow. Listen to this. So the headliner, which I regret saying his name earlier, because now people are going to be able to detect who this is. And I don't want that to be, I don't want folks to know this, but I'm going to say something kind of, well, anyways, here's what happened. He comes in, I know him because we did a show together 4 or 5 years ago on a rooftop in Connecticut. And I said hello, and I reminded him how we know each other. And we talked about another comedian that we both like. And he looks at the lineup, which is on a notebook. Okay. And he sees his name and 20 at the end. And this is my first show in LA. And he goes, we'll see about that. And so my interpretation, which I assume is your interpretation, is he's going to run the light.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
of course. Of course. Yeah. That's what everybody's thinking. So right before he goes on, as the other comic is wrapping up and the host is walking onto stage, I say to him, because we had been chatting, see ya in an hour. He says to me, more like 12 minutes. When he said, we'll see about that, he meant he was going to do less time.
Weird.
What parallel universe, Spidey universe is this, where a headliner wants to do less time than they've been I don't know any comedian who is like that, who wants to do less time.
Yeah.
Like, what a crazy world where everybody was just kind of mailing it in, didn't really care. And I don't know. I mean, I guess the thing is, you're there in LA to book commercial work and try and get in movies or whatever. And then you travel, you go to Denver to do good shows.
Yep.
And then they can say this comic's from Los Angeles, and nobody knows that last night they performed for 2 people in a brewery
and mailed it in. Yeah.
Yeah. In defense of Andrew Orolfo, he was very funny. And actually, this is a super pro move. I love seeing this. This was so good. He does a joke. He said, I didn't know how long a set he was doing, but I ran my timer. And he asked the booker, how much time do I have left? And the guy goes, 1 minute. And I looked at my clock, and my clock said 14:45.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the booker hadn't really started a watch or whatever. And Andrew just very confidently said, well, I just got a good laugh. Let's call it there.
Yeah.
And so he was supposed to do 15 minutes, and he had done 50. He was like that aware. Yeah. He never looked at a watch, never looked at a phone, but he knew he was close enough to 15 minutes. And sure enough, he was at 14:45.
Yeah. But
the booker was telling him, you're only at 14. But his spidey sense told him that he was closer to the actual time. So he was a real pro. He did well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird in LA. I got a aggravation story to share. You want to hear Mark gets aggravated?
What you got?
All right. So I did a show in Colorado, and the booker sent one of these like 1,000-word emails about like dress and material and getting what time you're supposed to be there. And this is unbelievable. It wanted a legibly written introduction handed to them before the show. I feel like so much in here. And look, I don't like, some comics absolutely hate that stuff. I don't. I'm like, at least they're organized. Things are kind of like put together. I'd rather this than like totally sloppy.
Sure.
And so out of respect, items in this massive email that might as well have been the Odyssey.
Yeah.
Said, if you have any special requests, let me know by basically 48 hours in advance.
Yeah.
So I replied to the email just to let them know I read the email. I care about the show. Not a huge deal. I put the request thing at the top so she knew what I was talking about. And then I said, it would be helpful if there was a stool on stage. That was my whole special request.
There you go.
She writes me back like 150-word email about, we've never worked together. This is a professional show. I want you to know this is a professional. If you ask around about me, I run a great show. There's going to be a stool. There's going to be a weighted mic stand, not a music mic stand. We're going to have lights. We're going to have good sound. Rest assured, this is a professional show. And like part of me wanted to write back and like just double the words and explain like, sure, of course it's going to be professional. I was just saying like, have a stool if you can make a stool available. Yeah. But instead I swallow my base instinct and just write back, I'm sure it's going to be an awesome show. I'm really looking forward to it. See you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Yep.
All right. You ready for the punchline?
No stool.
It's a show. No stool. I mean, okay. There was a high back chair.
Okay.
Which is kind of a stool, but it definitely is not a stool. And here's the thing. What I wanted to say to her in my email that I never wrote was, I run a million shows. Yeah. Most of them don't have a stool. Just because the venue, I'm not driving a stool to these venues. Some of the venues don't have stools. Yeah, sometimes it's a weird table. Sometimes there's nothing up there. Sometimes it's a high back chair. Yep. You know, that if you put a drink on it, it's going to tip over, you know? And so she came to me and in person, to her credit, said, look, there's no stool here. And I said, and I found something that was better than the high back chair, something that had a flat surface, and put it up there. But man, people.
Yeah, nutty. Yeah, I did a show recently on Sunday. They called me, or the what do you call it? Instagram DM messaged me, and they said, hey, we got a show. It's 2 hours away from where you live, and it starts in 3 or 4 hours. Can you headline? And I was like, sure.
Yeah, of course. I love that. What are you going to pay me?
Yeah, exactly. So we figured it all out, and it was fine. But so yeah, weird show for a couple of reasons. The opening guy, the guy who did the very first set, literally the first time he ever did comedy. The very first time. Like, what are we doing here, man? Why are we throwing this guy to the wolves? I mean, the room was packed. People were there to laugh. People stayed the whole show. The lighting was good. The sound was good. Everything was good. Everything felt like, you know, it was a restaurant that they turned into a comedy club on Sunday nights. And that's exactly what it felt like. And it was all good. Why are you doing this to this guy? It seems mean. Like your very first comedy. But they had 2 features, and then the lady who was running it, she did like 15 minutes as well. So I'm like, she gave me the order, gave me the amount of pay, gave me all of that, did not tell me how much time I was going to do until I got there.
Okay.
So I get there, I'm headlining the show. The other guy bailed.
I'm nervous for you. I'm feeling this is like 15 minutes.
25.
Okay. I mean, that's not great, but it depends on what the pay is. Tell us in the Patreon what the pay is.
The pay was the pay was fine. But 25 minutes. Okay. I'd prefer, a little bit longer there. And some of the other comics struggled before me, and I had a fun set and I enjoyed it. But it's one of those things where it's like, if you're gonna do a headlining spot, then do a headline. If you're gonna do a showcase, do a showcase. If you're gonna do whatever, just do it. These words mean something. So
yeah, some people don't know what that stuff means, and it's a good lesson for you to ask questions.
Yeah,
up front. I guess. But it sounds like you didn't really care. You were going to
No,
go there,
I
do
didn't, I'm not
comedy.
sure. I mean, obviously, the first thing you want to ask is how much, how long. You know, besides the obvious of like when and where. But I was like, I'm not sure if I care. The other people on the show, I like them. I'm not sure if I cared. So I'm not doing anything. I was planning on going to a show, but it was sold out. It was at the Louisville Comedy Club, sold out. And they'll still let me in if it's sold out. But, you know, you feel like kind of a bother and you have to stand in the back. And, you know, if it was not sold out, it'd be a lot easier to go and hang out. So, yeah, it was fine with me. It was fine with me.
That's wild. Well, I went to see Blair Socci. Have you heard of Blair Socci? SOCCE. I went at Comedy Works South, and Andrew Overdahl hosted. I got there in like the middle of his host set. Matt Kobos featured. They both did great. And then Blair came out, and I stayed for like half an hour, watched, because I just never seen her, and I've heard people say she was good, and maybe I was kind of like interested in checking her out. But here's the interesting thing that happened. She did some crowd work about 10 minutes in, and she pretty much like picked on several guys in a row. And then she started talking to a girl, and she told the girl that she had effervescent energy.
Okay, that's interesting.
And apparently Blair did a bad job of repeating what the customers were saying, because so we could, you know, not everybody could hear what they were saying. But apparently she apologized for having effervescent. Yes, that's the right face, for having effervescent energy. She didn't know what the word meant. She thought it was a negative thing. And so
the lady in the audience thought it was negative.
That's correct. She thought she was getting roasted because she doesn't have the vocabulary to understand that. And Blair had to say, "Open the schools."
Yes.
Which eventually, I mean, that did turn on that poor woman. That poor woman did get roasted.
Now you get roasted because you're dumb. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of on the comic a little bit. Effervescent. You're at a comedy show. You're not lecturing at Oxford. Okay. Yeah. There are going to be people who don't know the word effervescent.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. I'd say bubbly. Say you have a real positive energy. You gotta.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do the whole like say it and then say the
like explain it
right after.
You have a really nice effervescent energy. Like it was just, I think it was situational where the woman didn't know the word. She panicked and she just assumed it was negative because Blair had been negative to like 3 guys in a row.
Yeah.
But I think her whole shtick is to be negative to guys, but nice to women.
Yeah.
And it kind of backfired on her. So I thought you'd like that. A good vocabulary story.
Like yeah, I do like that. Yeah, that is fun. Effervescent. Somebody, I'll butcher this, but somebody was talking about Dave Chappelle. I want to say it was in Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. It wasn't Dave Chappelle talking about it, but how Dave Chappelle will talk and just normal, and then every once in a while throw in one word that everybody has to look up. You know, it was like, oh man, everything was going crazy. It's haywire. It was just chartreuse in there. I mean, golly, you know, it just throw in like what? Okay, what? Pump the brakes there, Dave.
I got 2 quick things. One, I sent a postcard to a comedy club to try and get booked. Have you ever done this?
No, I thought I sent a thank you note one time.
Okay.
It didn't work. Yeah.
Because I don't have the owner's email address.
Yep.
And I had a fire person at one of my shows recently, and they gave me a tour of the fire station. And as part of that, they gave me a postcard with a stamp on it of the fire station.
Yeah.
And I was around the same time that I found the postcard and wondered who should I mail this to. I was thinking about this comedy club and was like, how do I reach this lady? And I had this postcard in my hand. I was like, you know, light bulb went off.
There it is.
Maybe I can look up their name and the address of the comedy club and I can mail this out. And I basically just said, I featured once at your club in 2025. I'd love to come back in 2027. How do I send avails?
Yeah.
You know, hope everything's well. And so I'll circle back to that if I get booked at this comedy club, and then I'm buying Mark Masters comedy postcards if it works.
Right.
And we're just
So I don't know. I mean, I have a feeling. I hope. I wish you the best.
yeah. I think I know what you're gonna say. Go for it.
Straight in the trash. But
no. I don't think it will even reach her. I think an employee
yeah.
is gonna get it, and
But postcards are fun to it. But now, my brother swears by direct mail, and I've been reading some direct mail stuff, and I've had it on my list of things I need to do to like take my solo comedy business to the next level.
Yep.
And I recently bought at a estate sale some envelopes and some stationery that's really cheesy. Like it's cheesy on purpose. Like this is like Christmas border, like a border of Christmas things. And the idea is send it out and say, hey, do you need a comedian for your Christmas event? Oh, this is on Christmas paper. You're getting it in August. And you're like, oh, okay, maybe. So that's the idea.
Okay. We'll see what happens. I'm a fan of direct mail. I actually did I forget what it's called. There's like a bulk mail service through the U.S. Postal Service office. You get these.
Yes.
Like DMS or something. You print a bunch of postcards.
Yeah, you get the entire like zip code or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And I did it in Georgetown, Colorado, and it kind of worked. Like a lot of people got the postcards. I think in a smaller town it can work.
I had a tutoring company, and I did. Remember those Val packs? Big envelopes with a bunch of like little coupons in it.
I like how you say that in the past tense. No, they still are following me to this day.
Yeah. But I did it. I mean, at this point, 20 years ago. I don't know how long ago I did it. And I sent it to them. I got several clients because of the Val pack, which is great. That's what I was going for. And I'm like, well, let's cut out the middleman. Let's just do the same sort of idea, but mail this entire zip code. I swear the post office took my big stack, looked at it, and be like, "Oh, he already paid." Trash can. That's what I swear they did. I didn't hear a peep from anybody.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. I want to bring back an old segment, and then we got to wrap this up. It's should Mark do this comedy festival? Jake,
what we got?
I got the tape. That was the only I don't know if you remember.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so not a new festival. You're not asking for a new festival.
Nope. This is the original should Mark do this comedy festival. That they told us, don't worry about where you stand on stage. We're gonna film your tape. It's gonna look great. They have audience mics. Everything's all super professional. The tape couldn't have been worse. Not only is the lighting bad, let's forget about that. The switching between cameras is at random. It's like so silly. And then the only microphone is the house microphone. So it's one of those tapes where you can't hear the audience laughing. Fine. No. But I did crowd work during my set with somebody in the front row. I'm like, hey, what color is your shirt, buddy? Hey, that's amazing. You can't hear the audience at all. It was so bad. And so I very politely emailed back and said, hey, would you happen to be able to send me just the raw audio files from those microphones? I'll take care of the rest. And maybe even the 2 video files so I can decide where to, switch between. No response. And I can't imagine this festival is going to come back next year.
Yeah.
But if it does, it's on blast. And I'm letting people know this. Yeah. If you're not 20-minute drive away from this place, do not do this festival.
I can't imagine they will respond to your email of this files. There's no way they're even going to respond to you.
Well, no, it's too late. It's been like 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
It's been, okay. They're definitely not responding.
Yeah.
But why why not? I mean, other than they don't have the files.
See, I told my wife this yesterday. You never attribute something to malicious an intent when you can more easily attribute it to incompetence. That's what they're not being mean. They just don't know what they're doing.
Do you think they don't have the files?
I think that they are so incompetent that they cannot find the files. They cannot find the time to find the files. They saw this email. They immediately just like put it out of their mind. They're moved on to other things. They don't care. They don't care. They're not thinking about it. They haven't given it a thought in weeks.
Yes, I agree. And that's not any way to treat somebody who flew across the country, your talent, to be at your comedy festival. Anyways, we got to wrap this up. We're going to be in Patreon. I have so much great stuff for the Patreon, Jake. Not only do I have this stuff that I talked about in the festival, in this podcast, but I also I have some juicy stuff about the New Faces contest in Denver, and I have some juicy stuff about a New York City comic calling me to basically talk about money and other bookers. And it has an incredible plot twist, and I'm going to talk all about that on the Patreon. And also, I am going to tell you who the booker was for the private comedy club and private comedy show in Los Angeles. I tell you what I got paid for that country club show. I am going to do something about Bill Burr. Did I say I was going to reveal something? Oh, I'll tell you some of the jokes. He was so funny. I'm going to tell you some of the premises he did. I'm going to tell you the name of the booker that promised me a stool. I'm going to tell you about a comedy festival, a different comedy festival. And that's all I got for the Patreon. What do you got for the Patreon?
Oh man, I went to a magic show. I'll tell you how it went. It was bad. And I'll tell you some other things about some shows I did this weekend all around Kentucky.
Okay. If you're enjoying this, everybody, join the Patreon. Just throw us a bone. Throw us $5. Patreon.com/Mark and Jake. And this is coming out August 10th. What do you got coming up soon?
Ooh, let's see here. Doing some shows in Kentucky with Gravely at Gravely Brewing, and on the 20th. I'm going to Colorado at the end of August. My niece is getting married, and I am featuring at Comic Sense for the first time in Boulder. So
fun. Are you doing anything? Are you going to be in town Thursday, August 27th, and you're looking for a spot?
That's the niece's wedding.
Okay. Yeah, you could probably skip that, right? Okay, so this comes out August 10th. Wednesday, August 12th, I have a Vail comedy show in Edwards, Colorado at the Westin at the Lookout Bar with Kellen Erskine. I'm so excited about this. Do you know Kellen?
I know the name, and I know a little bit, but
he's a very clean, dry bar guy, millions and millions of views. He's been on Conan and all kinds of stuff. It is like really one of those times where I'm like surprised I was able to book this person. And it's working out great. And he's in town to do the Bug Theater on Thursday, August 13th. And I'm on that show. I don't know how I fell into that. I'm so excited. It'll be my first time booked at the Bug Theater ever. And I'm opening for Kellen Erskine. I can't wait for that. And I think he's going to add Friday, August 14th, but I have a hold on that. If not, Savannah Bananas are at Coors Field, and you can find me there with an overpriced scalp ticket, probably. And then Saturday, August 15th, I have a private up in Casper, Wyoming. It's a, what do you call it? High school reunion, 40th high school reunion. And we're going to have a good time in Casper, Wyoming. And that's all I got. We'll see everybody next time. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Mark from Los Angeles, Jake from Louisville, Kentucky.